where we look into the darkest and most terrifying true crime stories. Today, we'll take a deeper look at one of history's most notorious serial killers, John Wayne Gacy. Gacy, also known as the Killer Clown, is a true narrative of terror and craziness that will send chills down your spine. So grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's explore the warped mind of a real-life monster. We learn about the terrifying investigation into John Wayne Gacy's disappearance and death on today's episode of True Crime. John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois. Gacy demonstrated troublesome conduct from a young age, with his father referring to him as a sissy and a mama's boy. Gacy's youth was marked by physical and emotional abuse, which may have influenced his subsequent criminal activity. Despite these hurdles, Gacy was able to marry and have children, portraying himself as a model citizen and successful businessman. However, underneath this mask was a dark secret: Gacy's obsessive drive to kill. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy savagely murdered at least 33 young men and boys, burying many of them beneath his Illinois home. What makes Gacy's atrocities even more appalling is that he frequently dressed himself as a clown to entertain children at festivals and events while concealing his actual identity as a cold-blooded killer. John, a Waterloo-based KFC employee, says his spouse and career make his time ideal. He and Marilyn enjoyed a blissful marriage, producing a son and a daughter. John became vice president of the Waterloo JCs and was involved in the local JC chapter. While apologizing for abusing John physically and psychologically when he was younger, his father expressed pride in him. John was strongly involved in drug use, pornography, and wife swapping along with other members of the Waterloo JC. In his home's basement, they set up a party club where workers could come over and enjoy drinks and pool games. Although the club looked like fun, John really used it as an excuse to treat himself. He would test their morality and laugh off their advances. When John invited a fellow JC member's 15-year-old kid over for a hangout in August 1967, he began to get into more difficulty. John bought Donald a drink, asked him over, and allowed him to watch porn. Gacy's victims were usually young male prostitutes and runaways, whom he would entice to his home with the promise of a job or money. Once inside, Gacy would overpower his victims, handcuffing them and committing horrible acts of cruelty and violence. Many of his victims were strangled or smothered, and their bodies were disposed of in a crawlspace beneath Gacy's basement. One of the most unsettling features of Gacy's actions was his ability to project a sense of respectability within his society. Despite his horrible deeds, Gacy was popular with his neighborhood and even attended political events and fundraisers. This dichotomy, the attractive, friendly community figure paired with the vicious killer, only serves to underscore the depths of Gacy's depravity. When 15-year-old Robert Peast vanished from his pharmacy job in December 1978, Gacy's reign of terror came to an end. Police looked into Gacy's past after Peast was last spotted discussing a possible job opportunity with him. Upon discovering his criminal history of sexually abusing young boys, they were able to get a search warrant for his belongings. They discovered a house of horrors. The bodies of several victims concealed beneath Gacy's house, each serving as a horrifying reminder of the crimes he had done. Following his arrest and several murder charges, Gacy was put on trial for his crimes in 1980. Gacy attempted to claim insanity but was ultimately found guilty and given the death penalty. Even now, John Wayne Gacy's legacy haunts us, serving as a terrifying reminder of the darkness that can exist within even the most seemingly normal people. Numerous novels, films, and documentaries have been influenced by Gacy's story, all of which have tried to explore the complex psychology of this real-life boogeyman. However, the realization that Gacy might be anyone, a neighbor, a friend, or a co-worker, hiding his true nature behind a facade of normalcy, is probably the most unsettling part of his atrocities. Renowned serial killer John Wayne Gacy was put to death in a horrifying murder case. Though there were whispers that his last words were, "kiss my ass," the state attorney refuted this. Investigators identified 8 bodies and made unique gravestones for each, ensuring that the funerals were held according to protocol. 2 of the 8 victims have been identified through the use of DNA testing over time, but the identities of the other 6 are still unknown. Gacy was a man with plenty of opportunities, but his acts obscured the identities of 33 victims. After failing a lie detector exam, John, an adolescent involved in homosexual experimentation at KFC, was charged with sodomy. After hiring a worker to threaten Donald, he was jailed once more for attempting to intimidate a witness. John was given an antisocial personality disorder diagnosis and told to get a psychological assessment. Physicians advised him that therapy and treatment would probably not help and that he would probably commit assault once more. John entered a guilty plea to sodomy, yet he was found guilty and given a 10-year prison sentence. After Marilyn filed for divorce, John's life took a drastic change, and he never saw Marilyn or their kids again. John's charisma, desire, and drive helped him succeed every day as a head cook in prison. Let's remember the people who perished at the hands of this monster as we consider the atrocities of Gacy's deeds. Their lives should be cherished, their stories relayed, and their memories respected. May we always remember that the lesson the case of Gacy imparts to us is that evil can appear in various forms, including that of a murderous clown. We appreciate you coming along as we take a close look at the unsettling life of John Wayne Gacy, often known as the Devil in Disguise. We hope this film served as a terrifying and educational reminder of the darkness that may exist within a person's soul. For more real crime material, like and subscribe to our channel. Also, always be cautious while venturing outside. You never know who might be hiding behind a grin. Goodbye till next time. Remain horrified, alert, and inquisitive.